the right camera. There we go. All right. So the quadratic is an equation that has a square in it. Yes, it's got an x squared or a y squared or a b squared or so that. And as I was saying, I'm sure you're familiar with this equation, right? And you know that when you write an equation like this, the x and the y stay in the equation, don't they? And you fill in values for the m and the b. Those values tell you something. This is an equation for a line. What does this value tell you? The slope of the line is 2. And what does this value tell you? The y-intercept, right? Well, so just like that, we have this equation for the parabola way over there. Do you see it way over there? Do you see it way over there? And A equals ax minus h squared. Just like the equation of a line, the x and the y, they stay in the equation, just like they do over here. You don't need to fill in the x and the y with anything. But then you have these other values, h, k, and a. Those values tell us something about this figure that we're going to graph. And this figure that we're going to graph is called a parabola. It will always have the x stuff squared. It will always have the x stuff squared. A parabola is going to look like a U. And for us, for now, we're going to have a parabola that opens up or down. It's going to go like this or like this, up or down. Later on in chapter 12, we're going to do sideways ones. And if you take more complicated math, then you'll have ones that go, at angles. But for now, up and down. That's it, right? And every single one of these up and down parabolas will have the x stuff squared. Those values in the equation tell us things about the parabola. Equals ax minus h squared. The a value is right here. The a value is important because it tells us if the parabola opens up or down. The a value is important because it tells us if the parabola opens up or down. You see this? If a is greater than 0, in other words, if a is positive, the parabola opens up. It's like a U. If a is less than 0, in other words, if a is negative, then the parabola opens down. So over here in my picture, a is positive, then it opens up. A is negative, and it opens down. So this parabola right here, by knowing the equation, you would be able to tell me if it opens up or down, right? What does this one open up or down? Up, because it's positive. So opens up. That's the first thing you can tell about the equation. The second thing that you can tell, it says over there, the vertex of the parabola is the point HK. The vertex is this. What the heck is a vertex? I don't even know what that means. The vertex is this. If the parabola opens up, the vertex is the lowest point. There will be a point that's absolutely the lowest before it starts coming back up. That's the vertex. If the parabola opens down, then there will be an absolute highest point. That's called the vertex. So the vertex is the lowest point if it opens up, and the vertex is the highest point if it opens down. And regardless of which way it opens, the vertex, it's a point, so it will have an X and a Y coordinate. So those coordinates are HK. Hey, look at the H and the K. That's your H. That's your K. So we would automatically know if you have the equation for the parabola, then you have the vertex of the parabola. What's the vertex? Or should I say, what are the coordinates of the vertex of this parabola? What are the coordinates of the vertex for this one then? The x coordinate, it's the one with the x. The x coordinate is 3, and the y coordinate of the vertex is 2. So far, so good? So by looking at the equation, you can tell if it opens up or down, and you can also tell this point called the vertex. The vertex is at the point 3, 2. And remember, since this one opens up, the vertex would be this point down here, the lowest point. One other thing you can tell about the parabola. That's this axis of symmetry. You've heard of that word before, right? Oh, symmetry. Remember back in the good old days? Now, I'm not a very good drawer, but could you put a line of symmetry in that thing? Could you, Judy?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
In the center.
How do you know that?
If you flip one side of
Yes. If you flip, or if you think of the line of symmetry as folding it, if you put the line of symmetry right down the middle, if you folded it, you should be able to fold one half right on top of the other. Symmetry means it's kind of the same on both sides, right? Right? So in the elementary school, I think I remember you'd have to put a dotted line in there. Or if it was a rectangle, could you put a line of symmetry in that? You probably could put more than one. I would put one straight down the middle, right? Because you could fold it over this way. But I think you could also put one this way, right? So symmetry just means it's the same on both sides. Well, if I was a better artist, my parabolas would be symmetric too, wouldn't they? It's a line. It's a line at x equals some number. It says over there, it's a line at x equals h. X equals h, but what was h again? H is this first coordinate of the vertex. So the axis of symmetry is just a line at x equals 3. So Anybody with questions so far? Does that sort of make sense? So today's assignment is going to be fairly simple. Can you look at page 330? I'm just giving you the oral exercises. And the first part of the oral exercises, you have to match a graph with its equation. Well, if I give you an equation like, how about, if I give you an equation like that, you're like, holy cow, that doesn't even look like any of the ones she just did, right? She always does the easy ones in class. She always does the easy ones. Is that an equation for a parabola even? Where's the K? Where is it? If it's not there, what is it equal to?
0.
0. So for this one, K equals 0. What about this A value? What's in front of a variable if there's no number? 1. So your A value up in front there is 1. And same thing over here. What's the H value there? It's also 0, right? So here's what I would do if I was trying to match this up with a graph. You've got a whole bunch of graphs to pick from. Well, first of all, I would say, which way does this one open? If A is 1, which way does it open if A is 1? Remember, if that A value is positive, it opens up. If A is negative, it opens down. Which way does this one open? You can say it. Up. It opens up because A is positive. So it opens up. The other thing you would know, and by the way, so it opens up, it's like this. So you've got to look for a picture that's opening up. The other thing that you know about this parabola is the vertex. The vertex is at the point HK. It's always at the point HK. Well, if you have the equation, you have the H and K. What are the H and K values? For this one, it's 0, 0. So on that graph, this point right here, it better be 0, 0. And that's how you're going to match them up. One other thing about the A value. The A value, not only does it tell you which way it opens, but the A value has to do with how wide the parabola is. And it's exactly opposite of what you would think it is. As this A value gets bigger, the parabola gets narrower. So a big A value means you have a narrow parabola. If you have a value like y minus 2 equals 1/4, if it's this parabola is wide. A small A value means you have a wide parabola. A big A value means you have a narrow parabola. So that's another thing you can look at. But that's all you have to do for this, is look at which way it opens and what the vertex is, and then match it up to a graph, right? Now, one other thing, what if I have an equation that looks like this? Oh, yuck. What if I have an equation that looks like, what if I have an equation that looks like, no, it's not going to be dry. No, it's not dry. It's not dry yet. What if I have this equation? See that? Looks like it's the opposite. See this? Looks like it's the opposite of what's in the equation. It's the opposite of what's in the equation. So first of all, which way does this thing open? Down. It opens down because that A value is negative. Now I need the coordinates of the vertex. The vertex coordinates, the x coordinate is the one with the x. The y coordinate is the one with the y. But remember, it's the opposite. So what would my vertex be? 5. And, oh, it's the opposite of that. -1. So what you would have to do then is look through the graphs and find one that opens down and it has its vertex. Remember, the vertex would be the highest up point. The vertex for that one is at 5, -1. Now, we're going to spend a couple of days on this section just because it's completely brand new, right? You've never seen parabolas before. And thankfully, back in the old days, we used to have to graph these, before Desmos.com, before graphing calculators. Oh yeah, make a T-chart. Except you're going to probably need like 5 values to get it right. Pick some X's, and oh yeah, you're going to plug it into this to get the Y values that go with it. Oh yeah. Do you know how long it takes us to graph one of those by hand? A while, yes. Which, now that you have Desmos, everybody has a Chromebook, all you have to do is type this in and it'll graph it for you. But for now, I don't want you to use your Chromebook right now, just type this in and then try to match it up. I want you to go by whether it opens up or down and what the vertex is. Got it? So that's really all your assignment is going to be today. There won't be a whole lot of work to show, which should make some of you very happy. Here's the assignment. I got what page? 330, 331. And we're doing oral exercises 1 to 14 today. And then tomorrow we get to, no, not tomorrow. Thursday, we're going to go on to the written exercises.